Nonprofit organizations are the lifeblood of our country and our region. They educate our children, keep us healthy, provide a safety net for our most vulnerable citizens, and enrich our lives by caring for our precious cultural, historical, and natural treasures. Nonprofit organizations also employ more than 16% of the workforce in Massachusetts and engage tens of thousands of others through volunteering. As Paul mentioned, at the Boston Foundation, we work to strengthen, support, and elevate nonprofit organizations in a variety of ways, and the Giving Common is central to this work. The Giving Common connects those with resources and those who need these resources to strengthen our city and our region. It empowers donors, institutional funders, and nonprofits to use data to make well-informed, strategic, philanthropic decisions. Donors will now have quick access to the information you need to learn about the incredible work that local nonprofits do every day. I recently heard a great story about a donor in San Diego where the local community foundation hosts a similar website. This donor is part of a giving circle, a group of friends who raise money each year through a tennis benefit and collectively decide where to donate the funds. The group had gotten into the habit of making donations to the same organizations year after year, until this donor was introduced to the San Diego Versions Foundation of the Giving Common. Well, she quickly became the star of her giving circle. She was able to bring the group both a new perspective on the organizations that they had supported in the past, and also teach them about several nonprofits doing innovative work with youth that they had not come across before. The Giving Common is also great for institutional funders, for it enhances our ability to conduct field research and perform due diligence on our grants. But even more important is its potential to save time and money for funders and for grantees by reducing duplicative administrative processes. At the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee, their version of the Giving Common is an integral part of their grant making, and also of the grant-making activities of 20 other local funders. Imagine a shared community file cabinet where funders can get the information we all request over and over again from nonprofits, giving them more time to focus on their mission-critical work. This is why in December, the Boston Foundation started requiring the Giving Common as part of our grant application process. And we're already benefiting from having consistent, in-depth information on over 300 nonprofits at our fingertips. This is also why the Boston Foundation is coming together with other foundations to ensure that the hard work that nonprofits invest in their Giving Common profile, in telling their stories in a rigorous and transparent manner, will be leveraged and rewarded. In fact, I am pleased to share that we are working with associated grantmakers to leverage the Giving Common as the basis of their effort to bring the Common Grant application online here in Massachusetts. One last story. This one about a local nonprofit in East Boston. A few months ago, Pierce Park Sailing Center, which provides access to affordable year-round sailing for people of all ages and abilities, was asked by a potential funder for more information on their organization. The funder had visited their website and was intrigued by what was there, but wanted to know more. Rather than pull staff from mission-critical work to respond to this request, Pierce Park was able to simply direct the funder to their Giving Common profile. When last we checked, Pierce Park had not yet heard back from the funder, but we wish them luck, and we invite you to visit their profile on the site. And while you're there, please also check out the other over 300 profiles available. And that number is growing every day. In all, over 600 nonprofits have joined with us to make the Giving Common a success. And it's because of their belief in this new resource and their hard work that we're setting a national record here today with our launch. So please join me in congratulating the over 400 nonprofit leaders with us here today. And we continue to encourage all nonprofit organizations across the state that have a 501c3 public charity status or are fiscally sponsored by a 501c3 entity to get started on their profiles as soon as possible, and more information can be found on the site. This morning is a celebration of philanthropy, and the Giving Common is at its essence about celebrating, lifting up, and investing in our state's critical nonprofit organizations. Now we will have a chance to see a demo of the site and hear from a nonprofit organization that is already benefiting from the Giving Common. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Catherine Westland, Nonprofit Effectiveness Associate at the Boston Foundation, who has worked tirelessly to get us to this day. Catherine will walk us through a case study scenario that illustrates how we as donors, funders, nonprofits, and engaged citizens will benefit from the Giving Common. Catherine.
Thank you, Jennifer. We're going to do a case study on the Giving Common now. Imagine with me for just a moment, you're a donor with a focus on food insecurity. It can be a challenge to stay abreast of organizations you've supported in the past, and also to learn about new organizations doing great work across the state. You've heard about a new online resource called the Giving Common that details information about nonprofit organizations at an in-depth level, and you've decided to give it a try. You visit givingcommon.org. You review the ways you can search, including by nonprofit name, NTE code, which are IRS subsector codes, and by geographic area served, as well as category. You decide to click on fitness and food, given your interest on food insecurity. As you browse among the organizations, you recognize several nonprofits that are new to you, and several you've supported in the past. You decide to learn more about Community Servings. Community Servings had the distinct honor of being the first nonprofit organization to complete their Giving Common profile. Their CEO, David Waters, is here with us today. Within moments of looking at this profile, you gain a new perspective on the organization. We'll now review the setup of the profile, and we'll learn a little bit about Community Servings, and then we'll dive in depth on our tour. On the profile, there's a variety of 7 tabs that you can review and check out. On the Summary tab, you can review an organization's video and photo. You can also review key financial facts, metrics, and their contact information to contact them directly. On the Overview tab, you can review the history, impact, needs, and much more about the nonprofit organization. On the there's also the Programs, Management, and Governance tab, as well as the Financial tab. On the Donate tab, you can give by credit card and donor advised fund at the Boston Foundation. As well, you'll note the button that says Current. That means that this profile is up to date. Nonprofit organizations update their profile once a year or more often to keep information current, so you can be sure that the information you're reviewing is updated and accessible with the latest financial information. Before we dive right in, we're going to learn a little bit about Community Servings. As Massachusetts' only food and nutrition program providing services to individuals and families living with critical and chronic illnesses, Community Servings' goals are to help their clients maintain their health and dignity and preserve the integrity of families through free, culturally appropriate, home-delivered meals, nutrition education, and other community programs. You've decided to learn more about the programs of Community Servings, so you click on the Programs tab. Community Servings actually has 4 programs profiled here, but we're going to look at one specific program. You've scrolled down to check out the programs that are here. And you've decided to stop on Nutrition Program for Individuals and Families Affected by a Critical Illness. Part of the program description is Community Servings delivers 390,000 free home-style meals to 1,300 people who are too sick to cook for themselves or their families, currently caring for clients with 35 different life-threatening illnesses. The services include a customized, nutritionally packed lunch, dinner, and snack for sick clients, their caregivers, and dependent children. You review the budget and the population served. Next, you move on to look at the short-term measures of success. This allows you to better understand how the organization defines success and how they can know they're reaching their goals. One of Community Serving's measures of short-term success is 75% of parent respondents will report that their stress levels have decreased or stabilized since their families began receiving these meals. Next, you move on to look at the measures of long-term success. Long-term success really allows you to understand how the nonprofit plans to change their community and affect their constituents in the future. One of Community Serving's measures of long-term success is that they help their low-income clients and their families financially by providing vital economic assistance for the 95% of their clients that are at, below, or just above the poverty level. You can also review how they monitor their program success. One way that they do that is that they do telephone assessments, home visits, and surveys of their clients. This allows you to really understand as a donor how the organization is knowing if they're being successful and meeting their goals. Next, you review the example of program success, and you're able to read a client story and actually understand how Community Serving has impacted one client that they've had a great effect on. The client's name is Anna, and from ages 4 to 7, she received meals from Community Serving and was able to really thrive and become so much healthier that she's able to leave their nutrition program and successfully thrive on her own. You could scroll through and review more of Community Serving's 4 programs. Next, you decide to jump to the Governance tab to learn more about their board. On the Governance tab and the Management tab, you can review people and policies important to the organization. On the Governance tab, you can review the organization's board members, their affiliations. As well, you can review their board demographics. Board demographics allow you to really understand if the organization's board is actually representative of the populations they're serving. You can also review some other information about the board. One of my favorite statistics to review is if the board has 100% monetary giving. That means, does the board actually give to support the organization? And is a great marker of organizational success. As you look through the Giving Common, you can find your own favorite statistics to review and review them across a wide sector of nonprofits and organizational profiles. One of the other pieces that I like to review on profiles is if the organization has a written conflict of interest policy. Community Serving's answered yes to this question. That means the Giving Common team has actually seen their conflict of interest policy, and we know and have verified it exists. It's a great marker of knowing exactly that the organization has these policies and metrics for success. Next, we're going to move to the Financial tab. On the Financial tab, you can review charts and graphs and mouse over them for more information to really get in depth on the organization's financials. Jennifer referenced that we as grant makers request the same documents over and over again from our nonprofits. Some of that information that we request is their 990s, audited financials, and their 501c3 letter. All of these materials are available for your download, so you can actually access them right now to hopefully save time and reduce effort on the behalf of our nonprofits. You can also review their revenue sources and expense allocations and a variety of key financial metrics. This really allows you to know where the organization's been over the last 3 years and where they're going financially to track their financial success. If an organization has had a unique circumstance, or is in a capital campaign, or has an endowment, there'll be notes here so you can actually check out and understand their financial circumstance and situation. And of course, there's the Donate tab, where you can give by credit card directly to the nonprofit organization, and you can also link to your donor advised fund at the Boston Foundation. Now that we've reviewed this profile, you can imagine the possibilities that you could check out for the other 300 nonprofits on our site.